special thanks to the Wonderful Company, Kern County Superintendent of Schools, Dignity Health, California Resources Corporation, Valley Strong Credit Union, Jim Burke Lincoln, and Adventist Health Bakersfield for their generous donations toward Bakersfield Symphony education programming. Hello, my name is Kendra Green. I'm the Education Program Specialist at the Bakersfield Symphony, and today we are going to take a dive into a truly spectacular piece of music, Gustav Holst's The Planets. This is a huge piece of music. It has 7 movements, one based on each of the planets in our solar system, minus the Earth. I am going to spend a little bit of time on each of the movements, but first I'm going to give you a little bit of background information. Gustav Holst was a British composer in the early 1900s. Holst was very interested in astrology, which is the study of how planetary bodies, the sun, moon, stars, and planets, affect people's emotions, personalities, and actions. He actually wrote his own horoscopes regularly. Now, there are a lot of people who believe in astrology. However, because astrology is not based in scientific fact, there are also many people who believe it is utter nonsense. In either case, it's important to know the difference between astrology and astronomy, which is the actual scientific study of planetary bodies. So let's use Mars as an example. Astronomy would tell you that Mars is the 4th planet from the sun. It's red because of the high iron content in its dirt and rocks, and it has the tallest mountain in the solar system. Astrology would tell you that Mars gives you energy and confidence, but can also make you aggressive and impulsive. See the difference there? When Holst was writing the music for this piece, The Planets, each movement is based on a different planet and the character of that planet's astrology. There are also some connections to the character of the Roman gods that the planets are named after. We're going to take a quick look at each movement. Movement 1, Mars, Bringer of War. Mars was the name of the Roman god of war, which happens to fit the astrology. Mars brings aggression, and aggression can lead to violence, confrontation, and war. There's a lot of musical tension in this movement. Holst uses an ostinato to symbolize the relentless forward drive of an army. An ostinato is a rhythmic pattern that is repeated over and over and over throughout a piece of music. Here is the ostinato Holst uses in Mars. Listen for this when you hear the piece. It's happening in the background for almost the entire movement. Movement 2, Venus, the Bringer of Peace. As you can imagine, this is going to be a very different feel from Mars, Bringer of War. In astrology, Venus brings love and beauty. Listen to the French horns in the beginning of this movement and how they seem to be having a conversation with the flutes. The French horn asks a question, and the flutes answer. This happens again later in the movement, but with different instruments. See if you catch it. Movement 3, Mercury, the Winged Messenger. The title of this movement directly references the Roman god Mercury, who was, you guessed it, a messenger who would fly to deliver his messages. The music itself seems to resemble the constant movement of flight, like a bird flitting about the treetops, dodging branches and gusts of wind. Movement 4, Jupiter, Bringer of Jollity. So first off, what is jollity? Jollity is joy or happiness. Now, there are lots of different kinds of joy in life. Some of them are loud and public, like your favorite sports team winning the championships or being presented with an award. But sometimes joy is quiet and private. A quiet moment watching the sunset, or a mother watching her newborn baby sleep. Holst uses a number of different themes to represent different but equally powerful expressions of joy. Movement 5, Saturn, the Bringer of Old Age. In this movement, Holst again uses ostinatos. Now, he used an ostinato in the Mars movement, if you remember, representing the aggressive forward drive of an advancing army. In this movement, his use of ostinatos is more like the ticking of a clock. marking the passage of time, that relentless march toward old age. It seems like something pretty dreadful in the beginning of the movement, but that idea of growing older seems to take a different shape as the music progresses, and by the end of the movement, Holst seems to welcome the idea. Listen for that change in character. Movement 6, Uranus, the Magician. If you were to imagine a magician, there are a number of characters who might come to your mind. Maybe someone doing card tricks or pulling a rabbit out of a hat. Maybe a magician in one of those big shows sawing someone in half. Maybe you thought of someone more like Harry Potter or Gandalf, a wizard more than a magician. Maybe you thought of something resembling an evil sorcerer. Based on the music, it seems to me that while Holst's magician probably isn't the evil sorcerer, he's certainly a big, powerful personality. I don't think this is someone asking you to pick a card, any card. When you listen to this movement, try to imagine what Holst's magician was like. Movement 7, Neptune, the Mystic. A mystic is someone who is either pursuing or believes they have achieved spiritual enlightenment through some sort of communication with a deity or transcendent experience or something very spiritual and enlightening and somewhat mysterious. Pay special attention to the melody at the beginning of this movement. Holst takes that melody and builds on it throughout the rest of the movement. Bonus question. The melody in this movement does have a very mysterious flavor to it. What in the music makes it sound so mysterious? I hope you've enjoyed learning about Holst's planets. If you're interested in learning more, I actually previously created a whole series of videos on this piece that dive into the music in much more detail as part of the Bakersfield Symphony's Distance Learning Initiative in 2020. I have linked all of those videos in the description below this video, so if you would like to dive a little deeper into the music, feel free to check those out. In either case, we hope to see you at our upcoming performance.